Hi guys, welcome to my first ever Express review. Basically, reviews in turbo mode. Today I'll be talking about Perfect Dark, released on the Xbox Live Arcade a few months ago. Let me start by saying, wow, I fucking loved Perfect Dark back in the glory days of the Nintendo 64, and I must say, to see it re-released as downloadable content on the Xbox made my fucking day. But the burning question here is the new rehash as good or better than the original? Well, let's find out. In Perfect Dark, you play as Joanna Dark, an agent of Carrington Institute that's set to bring about justice in the world. As Joanna, you undergo unraveling a massive alien conspiracy and, of course, save the world. The story in Perfect Dark is a pretty standard one, and whilst it doesn't necessarily blow you away, it's still a pretty solid story. The story is primarily represented through cutscenes both before, during, and after each mission, which was great for the time, as not many games back in the 64-bit era showcased cutscenes such as this. The visuals in the latest rehash of Perfect Dark are excellent. Everything about the original game has been given a thorough polish, and the result is an old Nintendo game looking almost like an Xbox game. Facial detail has been significantly improved, weapons have been polished and look better than ever, and level design is bright, vibrant and well detailed. The animations look very smooth and fluid, with particular accolades due for weapon reloads and enemy AI. What's also fantastic about the new Perfect Dark is that there are no frame rate issues. The frame rate runs smoothly at a constant click, which is a definite improvement from the original, which tended to slow when too much was going on at once. There is no mouth movement, and characters simply flail their limbs about when speaking to give you a sense of drama. However, you can't really fault this, as the original game is from pretty much a decade ago, and they couldn't stray too far from the source material for the rehash. The soundtrack behind Perfect Dark is, and always has been, epic. Each different mission and situation is perfectly paired with the score to complement it. Voice acting is a different story though, with Joanna Dark herself being the most miscast character in the game. Her voice just doesn't suit her role as a character. Her alien sidekick Elvis is probably the biggest epic fail of humour ever, with shitty one-liners that just make you want to shoot him in his big ass fucking cranium. Other characters aren't that bad, but still not too good either. Weapon sound effects are fantastic, and as a result each weapon has its own distinct sound and feels very satisfying to fire. Probably my favourite and most nostalgic aspect of Perfect Dark is the voices of the Datadyne guards. They talk so much shit, and it's always a delight hearing what they have to say when you sneak up on them, shoot them, or whatever. Those that have played the game will know exactly what I mean. Okay, let me start by saying that there is not a lot different here than in the original Perfect Dark. At the roots, it's still the same game. You play through a series of missions and complete a number of different objectives in order to complete them. As you raise the difficulty level, guards get a greater IQ, the objectives become more complex and greater in number, and you take a bit more damage. Simply put, it ups the ante. You can tackle the story campaign cooperatively either split screen or via Xbox Live. One thing I thought was very cool was when you're playing on Xbox Live, you can actually set it to split screen anyway, which is not only fun, but also holds some sort of a nostalgic value for me. Counter-operative mode is also available, which is basically one player as Joanna and the other as one of the various guards throughout each stage. Story mode aside, Perfect Dark showcases some challenges that are fun and addictive. You can even explore the Carrington Institute at will and practice at the firing range and more. And of course, the game allows for online competitive multiplayer. However, because I was late to the party, I do believe that I missed out on that area as I couldn't connect to a game. But even without access to the online multiplayer in this game, I had a massive blast playing through it. The story campaign, the challenges, everything else it offers is just so much. The controls are simple enough. One thing I love about the new Perfect Dark is that it gives players the options to use different controls they've become familiar with over the years. For example, a layout of control called Spartan is offered for Halo fans, and a layout known as Duty Calls is another layout for all you COD kiddies. My only issue with the controls was that the aiming seemed very sensitive at first, and I practically needed to turn the sensitivity right down in order to play properly. But at the end of the day, it's something you can get used to. Overall, the rehash of Perfect Dark is just as awesome, addictive, and exciting as the original. It retains what made Perfect Dark the hit it was all those years ago, whilst giving the graphics a very impressive upgrade. If you are a fan of Perfect Dark, or any other first-person shooter for that matter, you couldn't go wrong with giving this game a go. At 800 Xbox points, why the hell not?
I'll secure the perimeter. We'll meet up later.